Hey guys, Retro Moments here again, and today we're talking about 15 games for the N64, these 15 games. So these are the so-called hidden gems, and the games that I recommend that are, that have been laying in the shadows of Mario games and Eye and Banjo Kazooie and the more popular games. So there will be no particular order for the games, however the last game will be the best one. So let's start. So the first game is Army Men Sarges Heroes. In this game you're running around as a plastic toy soldier and going to defeat other plastic toy soldiers, I guess, the bad ones. So basically there's a lot of variety with weapons and just an overall fun adventure action game. Next game from Atlas, we're talking about Snowboard Kids here. Now this game is very different from the more popular snowboarding game 1080. This is basically like a Mario Kart game, but with snowboard. So I would highly recommend it, it's super fun with 4 players. So the next game is Body Harvest. Body Harvest is basically like an open world game where you protect humans from aliens. It's kind of actually like GTA, but like set in the future with aliens and robots and stuff like that. And it has some great shooting mechanics, actually, it feels really good. And there's also 60 different vehicles that you can explore. So the next game is Hydra Founder. Classic arcade game. It has some really cool level design with a lot of variety. It also works with the expansion pack to bring out the details, which looks really nice. And also the best of it all is that it is 4-player compatibility, and it's just a great fun to play with friends. There's a lot of shortcuts and so on. So the next game is Knife Edge Nose Gunner, which is an on-rail shooter without an actual light gun. Yeah, that's right, there was never a light gun for the N64, but this got released from Kemco anyway, and it works surprisingly well with the N64 joystick. So basically it's a really easy to learn game, and it has 4 players, and each level brings out a different environment. So check it out if you like on-rail shooters. And the next game is Roadsters. It's a racing game, arcade style, and it's one of the best racing games for the N64s in my opinion, and I'm not counting Mario Kart in that. It's a perfect 4-player game with sports cars and really nice controls, cool tracks in all kinds of environments, and it's just perfect. The next game is Turok, and it's a dinosaur hunter game. It has some pretty cool levels and nice overall atmosphere. Great sound effects, and it's just fun to run around in the world and explore and shooting some dinosaurs. So check it out if you're into that. And the next game is Micro Machines 64 Turbo, and this is an overview racing game. And believe it or not, but you can actually play up to 8 players, 2 people sharing 1 controller. The graphics are easy and holds up as of today's standard, I would say. And there's also a lot of customization to do with the gameplay. And the next game is Force Gemini. And yeah, I know this is pretty bad, but I got it really cheap. And it's a super good game, and I would say this is from the famous Rare. They've done a lot of great games like Donkey Kong 64 and Banjo Kazooie, and I would say that this is the one that people mostly forget about. And basically it's a great story-driven game from Rare, as I said, and It's a sci-fi kind of game, a sci-fi shooter adventure game. Check it out. Yes, the next game is Excitebike 64, and it's the sequel to the famous NES game. And what did they do with this game? Well, basically they tried to make it more realistic with the N64 graphics, and they kinda succeeded because it actually looks pretty good for being an N64 game. It has also great controls, and it's just perfect for 4 players. So the next game is South Park. And some of you might wonder, what am I talking about now? Well, actually this is a really fun FPS game. It's perfect for 4 players, and it's big levels to run around in, and a lot of crazy weapons. So check it out. Next game is Killer Instinct Gold. An awesome port from the arcade game. I felt like Killer Instinct Gold got a bit in the shadows of other games. There was also not a lot of fighting games on the N64, and this is definitely one of the best ones. Killer Instinct had some huge success on the SNES, but this never got up there. But check it out. And the next game is Beetle Adventure Racing. So this game, it's another racing game, just as N64 is famous for. But it's actually really cool because it has really long tracks and a lot of shortcuts. Like probably the most shortcuts I've ever seen in any racing game, which is really fun. And of course that makes it really fun with multiplayer, 4 players. The next game is Doom 64. And this is actually a unique game only for N64. Yeah, it didn't come out anywhere else. And if you love the classic Doom game, you totally need to check this out because it's a great game. And the number 1 game is Mystical Ninja 2, starring Goemon, or in US, Goemon's Great Adventure. Now this is a great side-scrolling platforming game. It's just one of the best on the system. It's a very difficult game, but it's also very fair. Nice colorful visuals, and just the Japanese influence is awesome. You can never go wrong with that. So this is my number 1 pick. It's also KO up to 2 players, and when you have completed a certain task, you actually get to play 4 players KO up, and that's just awesome. So alright guys, that was it for today. Please comment and subscribe, and tell me what kind of videos you would like to see in the future from this channel.